So let's kick it off. Let's hear what good is happening in real estate. I know there's good news. I will call on you. Jenna, we'll start with you. Tell us something good. What's going on? What you got? How many closings this month?
I've got 3 closing this month. I wrote an offer last night. Said they're going to accept it, and then I'm actually going to my first master's event tonight.
Yay! Congratulations. Real quick, for those 3 that are closing, how did you get those clients?
Okay, one, I sold their house, and they're buyers, so friends of mine. Another was my listing, I double-ended, and so the buyers needed to sell their house. And then the third was a referral, my friend's son.
It's a lot of sphere. That's what I'm hearing. That's awesome. Awesome. Good news. Anybody? We all have a sphere, right? So we can all work that and close some deals. Frank, I believe you had something you wanted to share.
I don't know how many of you were at Krista Mayshore last week?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, she's doing a boot camp Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I gotta tell you, I was pretty impressed. Krista Mayshore is the real deal.
Yeah.
She's the real deal. And she's doing a seminar Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And because of Brent, the cost is zero, nada to you. And if you knew how much she charged for coaching, I would strongly encourage you to take the free seminar. It's from 8 a.m. to 4. I know a lot of you can't do that kind of attention on the Zoom, but even if you get 40 to 45%, yes.
She's doing the replays. There's a Facebook group, so
Yeah.
if you can't catch it, but it'll go till the end
That's
of the
right.
week.
That's right. I would strongly encourage, because YouTube and Google is the wave of the future, and she nails it, and I was totally impressed. So there's my plug for Krista, which I've become a huge fan of. Thanks to Brent.
Can you send a link for that?
Do you know where's the, yeah, we'll get with Rob about that. We'll get the information about the link for that for
Yeah.
Krista Mayshore's event.
Yeah, how do we get it for free? Because I just paid her $47 to do it.
It's
Were you there last week?
KristaMayshoreCom/.
We'll get it figured out. We'll get it figured out. All right, and then lender update. Miss Alicia, what's happening with World Loans?
So I wanted to bring you guys, and I will leave a few of these out so you can take a picture with your phone. But when it comes to appraisals, I wanted to give you some bullet points on the differences in the programs and what they're looking for. So conventional is literally primarily looking for health and safety. So that's their main focus of what they're going to potentially call out, is anything going to be health and safety. FHA though, they're paying attention to garages, fences, as well as decks. They can bring up attic and crawl space issues if they're aware of it. Chipping paint, I know we've all probably heard of that before. Anything unfixable, like broken windows or doors, they're gonna make you remedy that. When it comes to VA, they also have issues with wall cracks, chipping paint as well. Even poorly fitted windows is something on their requirements they can call out. And they do all need to either be fixed prior to closing, or you can do on both FHA and VA, you can do where you build the money in at closing and the work is done after closing, which in our market is going to be our best remedy, because sellers don't want to fix anything, number one, and buyers don't want to fix something they don't own. So both options do have, it's called an escrow holdback. So I did bring this for you guys to have, or so you can take a picture, and that way if somebody ask you that question in the future, it lists out what each type of loan program is typical to call. And so hopefully that will be helpful for you guys.
Super helpful, Alicia. Thank you. I do have a quick question for you. If the escrows are going longer, like if they need to do an extension of time, sometimes people's rate locks are expiring and now interest rates have changed. How are you seeing that being handled? Like, are they charging per diem?
So rate locks are going to vary in the length of time you have to extend. You can typically extend rates out 2 to 3 times depending on the program. But if you waste it with a week extension and you really should have done 30 days, when you hit your maximum, you hit your maximum, and then you are subject to current market pricing. We do lock out to a year. At 6 months or more is when they actually will add to your rate. I'm locking all of our escrows with longer time periods, so even on my 21-day closes, I'm doing 45. On my, I'm doing the extended period of time because it's just cheaper. So if you have an escrow where something could come up, just explain that to the loan officer so they pad your lock. Because a 2-week extension on the lock initially might only be 0.1, but if you wait and you're doing extensions, it'll be 0.1 per week. So it's almost double if you don't do it up front. So we're just really trying to, if there's any reason this could be delayed, trying to do it ahead of time. I just had one with Luis, and unfortunately, if you don't know about the extension till closing, like we had one, we weren't sure when the docs were gonna get here from like China. So once docs go out, the lender has to pay the extension. It was $2,000. Or you have to completely redraw, and we were not gonna risk that. So in hindsight, I should have padded it up front. So it's always cheaper for you guys to suggest to the lender like, hey, there's this going on. I think we should lock for a little bit of a longer period of time. It'll be 0.1 for an extra 2 weeks if you do it up front. So it's much better to do that.
Okay.
I have a question. So, you know how FHA and VA and stuff always have the chippy paint thing, right? With FHA, can you counter or have an addendum that says that the seller won't do any FHA required repairs that the buyer has to? Is that like, does it matter who does the repairs?
Nobody cares. We don't care who does what. We just care that it's done. And if, again, nobody wants to do it, we have escrow holdbacks. And most lenders can do this. The loan officer may not know how, but it's very common. They just have to ask their company, how do I do an escrow holdback? What they'll make you do is they'll make you get a quote for the repairs, submit it to underwriting. Certain things are allowed, like you can't do a roof as an escrow holdback, but you can do chipping paint. You can do a lot of the repairs after the close of escrow. What they're gonna make the client do is put that money at the title company, and it's held there and cannot be released to anybody but the contractor once the work is complete. So when the inspector comes out after they've moved in and the repairs are done and he signs off that everything's complete, then the title company will cut the check to the contractor. So the contractor has to be willing to do the work and get paid after, but I think that's normal anyways. But yeah, that's.
So the underwriter's not gonna care if they see on a counter, seller to do no lender required repair or appraisal required repair.
As long as the money is in escrow to have the work done, they don't care who pays for it. It's okay for either party to pay.
Even the buyer could support their own holdback?
The buyer can put the money in escrow to pay for the repairs, absolutely. In this market, that's what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing sellers necessarily wanting to pay for anything because they don't think they have to.
Yeah.
But if the buyer's like, I don't care, I'll fix it, I know it's $3,000, they just cut that check to title, title holds the money, the loan funds, they take ownership, the work is complete, and title then cuts the check to the contractor. That's how escrow holdbacks are handled.
Would that apply for VA?
Both VA, FHA, and
I
conventional.
have a VA offer going on 45 days now, and they had a whole deck that had to be repaired, and the seller's been working with contractors that can't get the work done. And now my buyers are gonna have to pay for that rate lock because we're going past the 45 days, and they don't know when the work's gonna get done.
So it should just be an extension at this point. Typically a 30-day extension is 0.5%. That buys them a whole 30 days more.
Okay.
That's way better for them. The truth is, conforming loans have gotten better for the last 2 days in a row. So rates are fluctuating. So if you wanted me to run for them a comparison of where rates are now, I can. But otherwise, it should be no more than 0.5% for another 30-day time frame.
Okay.
And you could potentially ask the seller to pay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if it's not your buyer's fault. But it's typically about 0.5%, so on 400,000, that's $2,000.
And if they get in before the 30 days, they're not paying for the full 30 days, are they?
No, if you do 2 weeks is gonna be more like 1/4 to 0.375, and then a month is like 1/2. Yeah, they make it more attractive for you to do it for longer.
Got it.
The shorter locks are way more expensive.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. We need to have like just an Alicia meeting where we ask her all the questions.
John, I do want to say one thing. If you do not fight like a dog for your lender, you're blowing it. Because then you're left with whatever lender your buyer chose, And maybe they're good, maybe they're not. But if you get stuck in a long deal and it's painful and the buyer's freaking out and that stress is coming into your heart, you'll have a shorter life. Stress will kill you. And so you need to get better. Say, look, you can use your lender, but you got to meet my lender, Lori Welsh, and she's not a lender. I'm using an example. And you're like, oh my gosh, she's like, Brenda's a lender. She's an agent, but I want to show you. You got to meet my lender, Alicia. She's amazing. She is going to give you a much lower interest rate and closing costs. And then you take that, you can go back to your lender, and you're going to scare the bejeebies out of your lender. And your lender who you love, you're going to see that rate come down probably 1/4 of a point. And I know you as a consumer go, what's 1/4 of a point? It's $30,000. You know, that's all, $30,000. Do you care about, you gotta learn how to talk to people. People are like, what's 1/4 of a point? It's $30,000. You kick that on the sidewalk. And then closing costs, what are you paying? They ask them, go, what are you paying? Shut up. And they go, I have no idea. I go, that's a major red flag. That's how I talk to my clients. I go, the fact that you don't know is insane. It could be $7,000, it could be $14,000, it could be $21,000. You should know what your closing costs are. Alicia's closing costs, Lori, whoever you're thinking, right? And again, she's not a lender. I don't know why I turned you into a lender. But it's just seeing Alicia's head pop up. She was like, oh my God, there's a lender. Anyway, so it was awesome. I love Alicia. She's great. And you should be working with Alicia. If you don't have a lender, work with her. But here's the deal. Your lender will send you to hell and back. And it's your fault because you're like, oh, I already have a lender. Okay. No. And I always get my lender's foot in the door, and then once they meet Alicia, if that's who your lender is, if your lender can't win the deal, you got the wrong lender. Whatever I would get my lender's foot in the door, they would actually get the deal, and then I'm working with someone I trust. And if you're like, well, I don't quite get that, you haven't sold much real estate. Because when you do get in a bed on a $700,000-800,000 deal where you needed the $15,000 to $20,000 commission check, and then it evaporates 2 months later, and then everyone wants to sue everybody, and there's all this stress, and you're not getting paid. You will understand what I'm saying one day. Any veterans here agree with that? Yeah. So get better at fighting for your lender. And I always said, look, you can use your lender. But what they're going to do is your lender's going to drop the rate. They're going to drop their closing costs from $12,000 to $7,000. That's $5,000 liquid cash at the closing table. Do you care about this stuff? Yeah, I do. So you got to become stronger than your buyer who goes, oh no, I've used this lender for years. My family's used this lender for years. I go, you know what? Your family's going to change. When your family meets my lender, they're going to change. There's nobody like, we're talking, I know 1,000 lenders in Sacramento. This is the best lender. People respond to conviction. You could say what I say and not have impact. They listen to the music, not the words. It's not the script. It's how you say what you say. You could say it wrong, but if you say it with conviction and passion, like, okay, geez, I'll talk to your stupid lender. And they meet Alicia, and she's nice. You don't got to be nice. You got to be a leader. You got to be strong. People look for leadership. I've been off sugar for 4 days. Go ahead.
All right, real quick, we do have a special guest in the house. Her name is Chanel. And Chanel, can you stand up real quick? Tell people what you do and how you can help them close deals. Everybody give a round of applause. I like that.
I'm Chanel Hernandez. I own Successful Signings. You guys are in here working so hard to make sure that all your transactions go smoothly-ish, right, from beginning to end. I'm the one that comes in at the end. You guys are in here at the beginning, in the middle, and working so hard trying to get listings and doing all this work. And then at the end, you want to have a signing service that's a preferred vendor, just like you have a preferred lender, just like you have a preferred natural hazard disclosure provider, hopefully insurance broker. Signing service is a notary that comes in at the end, and they guide your signers through the transaction documents, either with you or without you. And if it's without you, maybe it's even more important. If you can't be at all of your signings because you guys are all busy, you want to know that you're being represented well. So you want to have a notary or a signing service that's educated, who can come in there and take care of your clients the same way that you do. You know, either hold their hand or let them go on and on quickly if that's what they want to do. I mean, there's all kinds of different signers. We have all kinds of different notaries. We do split signings when your signers are on vacation and you're like, wait a minute, we're closing tomorrow. We can still get them signed no matter where they are.
That's awesome.
Or if they're a foreign language speaker and you guys are not sure, maybe they'd be more comfortable with a Spanish notary or Cantonese notary or something like that. We have all of that too. So I don't know if you guys have any questions about that, but you know, basically you sometimes have to be fighting for your vendors too. So your title company might say, oh, we already have our notary. We already have someone that we like. We already have someone we use. And you can say, well, this is really important to me. I'd like you to try my signing service. And we're already approved with all of your title companies that you use in the area. And we'd like to maybe even, visit their office and make an introduction if you're having trouble getting us in. But we have signed for most of the title companies here, and we'd love to help you out at the end of your transactions and make sure it gets finished up the way you started it.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Right?
What I like about having a preferred notary is that they go in and they edify you at the closing table the same way that your lender would or your other third-party vendors will. And you don't always get to pick who that is when you use, even if you're using a title rep, they may have somebody else coming in doing the signings. It may not be somebody consistent. So just keep that in mind. Chanel, where do they go to get a hold of you? What's the best number?
Yep, Successful Signings phone number, 610-417-3633. The email is info@mysuccessfulsignings.com. Instagram, Successful Signings, DM, all that.
Am I spelling this right?
All right.
I just wanted the same thing.
Signings or signings?
Finance.
Yep, plural at the end. Yep, and just tell your title company you already have a preferred signing service.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chanel.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got this guy right here is the next special guest speaker. Everybody give a round of applause for Barry Mathis. He's going to be covering, Barry is going to be covering how to do CMAs. We all have to do CMAs. Some of us may not use Google Pay-Per-Click. We may not do YouTube. We may not do social media, but we're all running CMAs. So Barry, here, go ahead, take it away, and let's share the screen. And I think you should be logged in.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right, man.
All right, guys, I'm going to jump into this, and this is going to be a sped up version of what we do. I've done a lot of these. I used to do them. One time Brent had a radio show, and we would do these on a regular basis, and we had to do them fast because we had a lot of leads coming in, and you would have to get really good at doing it fast. And somehow I'm logged out. I think I remember how to log into the MLS.
You sure?
All right, so here we go. As you guys already know, if you're wanting to catch all of this, don't feel like you have to write it all down. I'm going to give you a link to a video when we get done and a link to, anyway, so we'll jump right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do, as we always did, if Brent remembers this, we do a snapshot of the property. And so this is something you might not be doing on your particular properties. So we're going to put in the address up here. So, and we're going to go in with an address, 333 Canyon Oaks. All right, as soon as you do this, you're going to see all the times it was listed before. Always start there so I can get information on the property. If I haven't seen the property, a lot of times I'll have a profile that I can get, and that will show me information about the property. I clicked on the most recent one, and you can see this is a property that was recently sold. And so now I'm going to go down to the... How do I get down? Need to go below. Scroll down. All right, there you go. Sorry about that, max. And so the reason I go down to the bottom right there is because I can access that tax record. So the first thing I want to do is I want to print this report, the Agent One page report, and then I also want to go print the tax record. To save time, I'm not going to go into that at this time. We're going to take this MLS number right here. You could do this two different ways. You don't have to do it with copying and paste the MLS number. And you come in here to interactive map.
Well, and if the property has never been listed before, that's not gonna work.
Just let him do a second.
Why did it log me out?
I don't know.
You have
Open up a
MLS
second
open somewhere
browser.
else. It's looking like that video is going to be better and better for you.
Is your assistant trying to use your MLS.
Suspense. This is just dramatic suspense right here.
Exactly.
All right. For some reason, there's a couple of MLS windows open is probably what's going on.
Closing all the other ones, so there you go.
All right. So we're going to just drop down this information, go to interactive map.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. All right. There must be another.
I wonder why this is.
All right, that's fun. All right, guys, so I think what we're going to do is if this continues to be an issue, so I'm going to give you a website you can go to. This is our YouTube page on exponentialagents.com, Exponential Agent Network, Exponential Agent Network. On there, you'll see a 30-minute video on how to run a CMA. If you subscribe to that page, then I will send you the written instructions on how to do it. It's 35 steps on how to do the video.
Let's do that.
And so that's a great way to do it. I'm going to give you the basic rundown here on what I do. First, we do a snapshot of the property. I want to know everything in a radius around the property that's active, pending, and sold. So I'm going to do 3 different snapshots. One's going to use the actives, one's going to use the pending, and one's going to use the solds. When I do that, what I'm doing is I don't want to go into a listing appointment and have them know about any properties that I don't know about. So every time I walk into a listing appointment, I've got every property that's active, pending, and sold in a 1-mile radius around that property. And I do that by just doing a 1-page CMA. I'm not using it for a CMA, I'm using it just to tell me what's going on in the neighborhood. The other thing it will do is also tell me the activity in the neighborhood. Do I have a lot more actives or a lot less actives in this case than what's pending? So by that I can totally tell the inventory level of that town and the inventory level of how desirable those homes are going, how fast they're selling. So those 3 snapshots are very important to do. Don't skip them. Once you get them, then you can go into then you can go in and start to comp out the house. So what I'll do by comping out the house is I'll take that last one. When I do the solds at the end, I go back 90 days. If I'm getting more than about 40 solds or so, I'll go ahead and go back to a 3/4 mile radius instead of a 1-mile radius. Once I get down to that 3/4 mile radius, now I'm going to start tightening up the parameters. What I'm usually going to do is start changing the square footage first, and I'm going to go about plus or minus 10% on either side of that square footage. I'll go a little higher, maybe 15% on the top side and 10% on the bottom side. Because of the way price per square foot works, the price per square foot has a much greater effect on a smaller house than it does on a larger house. So that's why I'll use that range. So I'll go down 10%, up 15%. That's starting to tighten in. So I'm probably now gone from 30 houses down to about 20 houses. Then I'm going to come in and look at things, and I'm going to go to a one-line description view, and I'm going to start looking at things like, do any of these have big lots, right? Boom, take them out. Does anything over a 1/4 acre or a 1/3 of an acre I'm going to take out if my subject property only has a normal size lot. I'm going to look at things like age. Are any of these brand new infill projects that are comparing to old house? I'm going to take those out. So now I've got it down to about 15 properties. So I'm going to look at those things. If mine only has 1 bath, then obviously that's going to be an issue with 2 baths. But sometimes you won't have enough 1-bath comps, so you have to play that by ear. Do they have pools? If a lot of them have pools, then I don't really worry about it. But if that one house has a pool and mine doesn't, I'm probably going to take that one house out. So now I've got it down to about 10. What I'm going to look now is I'm going to start to see which ones of these properties are high, which ones are low. If everything's clustered around 500,000 and I've got one at 400,000 and everything else is clustered at 5, you can go look at that 400 and figure out why it's 400 versus 500, but you really don't have to. If there's only one at 400, take it out. If there's one at 800, so take the top and the bottom out if they're extreme numbers. Yeah. So now I'm down to about 7 or 8, 9 properties. That's what I'm looking for. When I get to about 7 or 8 or 9 properties, that's what I'm looking for. On my MLS, I go to something called the Cloud CMA. So I've set up the Cloud CMA already. At that point, I drop into, instead of doing CMA one line, which is what I was doing on those snapshots, now I'm going to go into that Cloud CMA. I'm going to print that out. It's got all my information. It's got a resume. It's got my resume. It's got a letter. It's got all this stuff that I can custom in advance to this property. It's got a lot of plug-ins. Just be careful you don't do too much junk in there. I take out the cover pages usually. I don't need all of that. I'm getting rid of the fluff. But what I'm going to be printing when I get done with this is a great PDF version of the property that will actually go live on a laptop. If you wanted to do it live, you can look at it that way. But I usually do the PDF. I print it in color front and back, and I bind it. And that's got great, beautiful, big pictures of the houses. Now I can go through and show everyone what I'm doing. Now, as far as the pricing, when I get into that CMA Cloud, CMA, it's going to tell me the median price and the average price, the high price and the low price. I'm probably pricing right now somewhere between the median and the high. So I'm going between that medium and high price, somewhere in there, and I'm probably going to have a range. If I haven't physically been to that house, I'm going to be pricing within a 5 to 10% range. At a higher end, I'll use a little bit tighter, maybe 5%. On a lower end property, I'll stay at 10%, meaning that on a $500,000 house, if I think it's worth $500, I'm going to tell you it's probably worth $475 to $525. I'm going to bounce around the number that I think it is. Then when I get to the house, I've got some breathing room. If you recall, I did a lot of these for somebody else that was going to the house. And so they have to have some breathing room when you get there so that you can give that range. Then I'll focus my conversation is, if you do everything I tell you to do, then I'll get you up to this 525. If you don't listen to me and just want to list the house, then you're going to be down here closer to the 500. So that's the program in a nutshell. If you want to get a 30-minute presentation on how to do that, then go to that page, and it is exponentialagentnetwork.com. And that's my YouTube channel. I'd love it if you guys would go on there. We're going to be loading lots and lots of content. I've got 125 videos that I've done over the years of that kind of hands-on stuff that I'm going to be loading onto that page. So if you subscribe to that, you'll get little clicks on it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you're doing your snapshot at the beginning, are you only going back 90 days on those solds, or are you going back further?
No, I only go back 90 days. Because remember, the snapshot is to really give me the current market activity in the neighborhood. And I'm not really worried about stuff that's way back in the back. I don't care about that. When you get into bigger properties, by the way, if I'm doing land, if I'm doing odd properties, I might have to stretch it out and open it up to 6 months to a year. Brent, anything I forgot on that? You think that covered most of it?
That was really good. Give Barry a hand. And there are more than one ways to do a CMA. There's different ways to look at the data. One of the things that I love to do is never give them an actual price. Your home is worth $885,000. Your home is worth, $455,000. I always like to, using what Barry said, I always like to draw this on the thing. I go, from what you could see, would you agree the high of your home is 525? They're like, yep. From what you can see from these 10 or 15 comps I hear here, the low is 475. They go, yep. And then the kind of the median price, what people are getting typically is here. So here, and I literally circle that, and here, this is the high, this is the low, and here's the sweet spot. So, and then I spend time, here's why these went for a lot. 3-car garages, they had pools, they had, the kitchens were amazing, blah, 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 blah. Is that your home? No, it's not. Okay, these homes, let's look at these homes. Is this your home? Yes, it is, right? Let's look at these homes. The low ones, not so nice. The yard work needed work. They're frumpy. No, it's not. So this is probably where we need to price the home, but this is the high. So I like to give them a nice visual like this when I do it. And Barry's absolutely right. If you see something that doesn't fit the thing, throw it out. High. If you see something at 400, throw it out. You just throw them out. Know about them, look at it, but you want to look.
And I do that, and by the way, I still do that stair step, just like what he did. I just do it on the back of my CMA. I'm writing right on it and doing that stair step, just like he did.
Yep. Okay, so is it,
You're up.
I'm up. Okay, so I need everyone to grab a piece of paper and a pen. You absolutely borrow a piece of paper from your neighbor.
There's some pads in
And a
there if
pen,
you need some.
and a pen. Where are the notepads? We got notepads? Pass them out. Do we have notepads? Piece of paper. Is that mine? Yeah, not mine. I can borrow from somebody else. Not mine. My paper's my paper. Give out your own paper. Does everyone have a piece of paper and a pen? Borrow a pen from your neighbor. Don't be shy. So the pens are on the table. Grab a pen on the table if you need it. Okay, so number one, I want to say this. If you listen to what these speakers are saying, your retention is 10%. It's a scientific fact. If we're to quiz you out in that parking lot this afternoon, repeat everything you heard verbatim in that room, you'll repeat 10% of what was said. So why do you come here and listen week after week after week? Those of you online, you're online. Why do you listen week after week? Take notes on Zooms. Take notes in the room. You know, if you take notes and studied it scientifically, 50 to 60% more retention. God, why can't I remember what to say? Why can't I remember? Because you didn't take notes. Just scribble. So I want to share with you some stuff that I think is really going to help you today. I'm just pumped. So number one, write this down. Take 100% responsibility for everything in your life. It does not do you any good to blame your spouse, your significant other, your kids, the interest rates, your lender, anyone. Take 100% responsibility for your life. Next thing, write this down. Progress is happiness. Taking one step in the direction where you want to go, you will feel better about yourself. Whether it's your health, whether it's your business, whether it's spending time. I'm going to be at the mall at 6 p.m. tonight, spending time with my daughter, Alyssa, my adopted daughter, Alyssa. She likes to get massages. You guys all know where Nordstrom's is? No. You know that little, where they give you massages on the table and the chairs? That's where we're going to be for an hour. She likes to do that. I'm going to go suffer with her. You know, I'm such a great dad. And then I told my other daughter, I go, hey, you want to come? She's like, yeah. I told my wife, hey, you could join us. And so we're all going to go. That's what we're doing. But this stuff doesn't happen on accident. I am intentionally, purposefully spending time with my wife, spending time with my kids, spending time with my health, spending time with my business. Man, so you gotta take that. And if you just like, I'm stoked that I know that's happening tonight. Progress equals what? Happiness. Thinking about what you ain't doing, right, is freaking misery, right? You beat yourself up, right? Oh, I should be doing this. I'm such a loser. I'm this, that. That is not good to say to yourself. So be very careful what you say. Richard the Lionheart. You guys know the story of Richard the Lionheart? You know, this is going back centuries and centuries and centuries ago, but all hell was breaking loose in his world, like the Ukraine, like it has in Yemen or Baghdad or different parts of the world. You're going to go out there today, and you're probably more than likely not going to get shot. You're not going to get stopped by military police. You're not going to be grabbed by terrorists. You have no idea how much opportunity you have, but you're feeling sorry for yourself because you're feeling sorry for yourself that you're feeling sorry for yourself. Now, stop it. Get out there and take massive action. Tony Robbins, one of the great, what's he say? Take massive action, take massive action. What does that mean? It means take massive action. It means today, start calling people. Door knock, go to model homes, do open houses this weekend. Do what you have to do. You could solve your financial situation in the next 30 days. If you would put your chin on the line, your ego, not your money. You don't need money. You need to risk your ego. You are not swinging the bat enough. Those of you that are succeeding, you swing the bat a lot. I can tell you right now, Jen Santos is succeeding at a high level. And I hope it drives you insane.
It does.
Thank you. No, I hope it does.
Come on, baby.
No. Anyways, easy. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. She's swinging the bat.
Yep. And we should give her a hand for that.
That's right.
Yeah, give her a hand. How many pocket listings do you have right now, roughly? Do you have just ballpark it?
14, 15.
Good for you.
She can double into every one of them. That's 28 sales. So she swings the bat. It's not magic. It is motion. Write that one down right now. Do not listen to me. It is not magic. It is not hocus pocus. It is motion. Get your butt in gear and do stuff. Call people. Get in the path. Hey, Colleen, I didn't even see you over there. Get in the path of progress. Make it happen. Get out there. That's why I did open houses. For me, I like people. I connect with people. And so I did open houses Saturday and Sunday relentlessly for a year. And I haven't had to do them for 21 years. I train agents now, but I only had to do it for a year. Then I had so many clients. I had 30, 40, 50 buyers. And I could handpick the nice ones that were desperate, that bought me the gift from Starbucks. You are so busy getting flowers and gifts. They should bring you gifts and flowers. You're the one working your tail off. How about clients like that, where they're going, I'm so sorry. You know what? I am so sorry, Johnny. We have to buy a home this weekend. We're in from Chicago. We could spend up to about $1 million, but we have to be in escrow by Sunday night. I'm so sorry to put that kind of pressure on you. Who would like that kind of pressure? Or how about this one? Well, I'm not sure about the market. It's awfully high. You want that client? Which client do you want? Well, guess what? When you have 2, you got 2 choices. When you have 22, you can work with the 4 or 5 motivated, excited, good energy people. When you have 1 or 2, you put up with abuse. You put up with people who have funky, wonky energy. People who are kind of like, you know? Like some of you are atheists and agnostics, you will believe in the devil by the time you're done with real estate. You will have met, like, I don't believe in demons. That will change. It will change. You're like, I swear my client's head did a 360. I swear. I had a client, there is a certain department store in Roseville, to this day when I walk by it, I shudder. I can't even set foot in there because my client works there. My secretary's like, should I put him in the database? I'm like, no! You don't put that client in the database! I knew I should have taken that deal. It went on for half a year. It was, I think I made like $16,000. And you know what? It was not worth it. She kept me up at night. She kept me up in the morning. She ruined vacations. Some of you need to go home and fire some clients right now because you're thinking about them way too much. It's one thing to think about your client in a good way, but when they are stressing you out and nothing you do, nothing you say, nothing is good enough, fire them. Just boom! I'm telling you, Brian Buffini taught me that a long time. Listen to that still small voice. Listen to that. Some people call it intuition, right? But whatever it is, I call it the Holy Spirit. But whatever it is, whatever speaks to you, the world, the planet, the universe, or however you, it's all cool. I'm not mocking anybody, but here's the deal. Listen to it, because it's saying the red flag is going up the pole for a reason. Anybody dated here? Right? When that red flag goes way up, you're like, whoa, he's cute though. She's cute though. But you know there's something not right, right? Anyways, I don't know how I got on dating. Okay, next. But Richard the Lionheart stepped up, and it was just Richard. But then it became Richard the Lionheart. Because he stepped up in the face of like you could die. And you think, well, that's not, yes, you could die. Trust me, if you can't pay your bills and you get divorced and you get separated from your family and you lose custody of your kids and somebody else reares your kids half the time, a piece of you will die. You're in a war. Make no mistake. And you could just kind of wallow in it, or you could step up and realize, well, you seem kind of radical. Yeah! Yes. Is it all about money? No, it's about freedom. It's about having enough money to pay your bills. Is it? Well, I'm just not going to get that radical. But are you worried about making your car payment? Are you worried about making your mortgage payment or your rent payment? Are you able to buy the groceries right now, or to take your kids so we don't go to the doctor? Why not? Well, we can't afford the doctor. Well, whose fault is that? Mama didn't step up. Daddy didn't step up. And I'm calling you out right now. Step up. How do I step up? Well, we're going to cover that. There's this guy, Walt Disney, went to 127 banks. I need money for a mouse. 127 banks did that. No. 128 banks said yes, and Walt Disney became what it is. Okay? And of course, they're off track now. But the original family and all that is pretty amazing that they did. And would you go to, how many banks have you applied to? I talked to 2 or 3 banks. Did you talk to 128? How about something called persistence? How about something called, I will not be denied. I will figure this out. I'm going to do this. You are not destined to suffer. Stop thinking it. You have every ability. You listen. There's 2 voices. One says, who are you kidding? And one goes, you got this. Listen to what says, you got this. I'm telling you, right? There's 2 voices. The enemy is the enemy. It's what you're saying to yourself. I'm just trying to inspire you and get you to realize that. Mel Fisher, 16 years he asked people for money. 16 years he got investors. 16 years of failure. 16 years till he found the Anatocha off the coast of Florida. Billions of dollars worth of gold. And now he's famous. He has his own museum. I've been there. It's in Key West. And if you ever watched the Mel Fisher story, for 16 years he hunted for the Anatocha.
Today's the day.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you right now, you think, well, it's hard. I'm struggling the last year or 2. Have you gone? So listen to me. Abraham Lincoln got divorced twice, went bankrupt twice, failed every office he ever ran for, except for one, the President of the United States. It's the first time he ever won a political office, ever. And they called him Honest Abe because he'd had wisdom, because he'd suffered so much and failed. How do you get wisdom? From your failures. Like, I've been there, done that. You get wisdom, right? Like, I'm not doing that again, right? It's not bad that you're failing. It's actually the key to success. You just don't fail enough. You're not swinging the bat enough. You want to get good at batting? Let's go to batting practice and spend hours swinging the bat, stepping to swinging the bat, get a hitting coach. And guess what? You will become great. It is not magic. It is It's work. Okay, that'll work. We're gonna try it again. It's not magic, it's motion. It's motion. Get out there. You can't sit there and think about what you're not doing. Get in motion. Activate yourself today. I mean, you could do it today. So check this out. There's this other person called Babe Ruth. The year he set the home run record, he set the record for striking out. Nobody remembers that. But he set the record. Nobody struck out more than Babe Ruth, and nobody cares because nobody hit more home runs than Babe Ruth. I guarantee you I failed more than everyone in this room. I got 56 years of failure. I wish they could play all my failures. You see my success. I'd rather you saw my failures. I was willing to get out there. I laid on the ground at open houses and begged God to send people through the door in Antelope. Why? Because I was broke. My kids were eating Wonder Bread from the neighbor's house. Right? I was using the phone at the neighbor's house because I couldn't pay Sure West $700 for a deposit for a phone. I've been desperate. I've been there. And I was willing to put myself through it. It wasn't fun. And I didn't love it. But you know what? It develops character and perseverance. So some of you are hurting right now. Some of you are in pain right now. You're struggling. That's the way it is. God uses that in your life to make you the person you are. You'll have some self-respect. You develop character and perseverance. It's how He develops you. If it was all easy, and we never went through the struggle, and we all just made it. Is that how this world works? It's not. And you look at Thomas Edison, 1,000 tries for the light bulb. The Wright brothers, they're making bicycles. They're going, we're going to make bicycles that fly. I mean, that was insane. That's like, give me money for a mouse. Like, we have a metaverse. We have a cartoon figures, avatars. We sounded crazy till COVID hit, and I was like, oh, they're a genius. You know, at first you're crazy, then you're lucky. They call you crazy, they call you lucky, then they call you for advice. Write that one down.
Yeah.
They call you crazy, they call you lucky, and then they call you for advice because you're a forerunner. You had vision. No, you saw an opportunity and you went for it, and you with reckless abandonment in a responsible way. But so here's the deal. Mother Teresa, she just loved people, man. She scooped them up, and she got knighted by the Queen of England. Martin Luther King, I have a dream. The guy just had a dream. He had a mouth and a dream. He talked about his dream. Little black boys and little white boys, you didn't say that, playing together in front yards. You didn't say that. I mean, it was like a crazy thing to say. And he gave his life for that, but he also changed the world. And so realize who you are. You're a world changer. You're a globe trotter. You were made for more. You were made for more. This isn't some sort of but I'm really talking to you. You're amazing. You got it in there. But you got to quit listening to your relatives, your family, your friends who say, who are you kidding? Get a real job. They're like, grab you, try to get out of the box, they pull you back down like crabs in a pail of ocean water, you know? It's like, you got to really guard your inner circle. So here's what I want you to do. Rule number 1, write this down. Life is not fair, okay? Quit feeling sorry for yourself. Stop it. Life is not fair. Rule number 2, you are entitled to exactly nothing. Woo! You're not entitled to health care. You're not entitled to an education. You're entitled to what you work for. That's what made America great. We the people of the United States of America. We are not run by a monarchy or by a queen or by a dictator. Like in Cuba, they have an actual dictator. He can kill people. In Russia, Putin, he's a dictator. He can kill people and does and puts them in prison. So this is your We the People moment. EXP is owned with Glenn. We the people of EXP. But you are the president of You Incorporated. How you doing at being a president? How you doing at being a CEO? I love Elon Musk on his corporate papers. He's mixing up the corporate world so big time. Everyone puts chairman of the board, CEO, CFO, president. You know what he put on his corporate papers of his multi-billion-dollar SpaceX company? GWGSD. You know what that means? Nobody knew. They finally asked him. He put, guy who gets stuff done. I'm the guy who gets stuff done. I'm the guy. You're the gal. You're the woman. You better get some stuff done. Don't wallow in it. Don't you... Oh, I ripped the paper out of my book. Don't you... This is my Tony Robbins book right here. I take immediate action. I've just joined. I'm learning, growing, hanging out. I hang out with John Maxwell now. I hang out with Tony Robbins now. I hang out with Grant Cardone now. I hang out with Gary Becker now. I made a goal who I wanted to get in so I could learn and grow as a human being so I could give more. I want you to realize that you are amazing and you're going to help people. It's not about money. It's about making a difference. It's about making a difference. It's about loving people. When are you most rewarded? When you buy a new car or when you really help somebody who needed help? What is more rewarding? And the car feels good, but it's when you help somebody. I love making people cry. In the good way, right? Are you with me? Where you're like, you rocked my world, dude. I mean, Juan and I had a connection yesterday down in Elk Grove. I can't even tell you. He's my brother. And there was a deep connection we made down in emotional. That's the highlight of my day yesterday, Juan.
Mine too. Thank you.
I love you, man. We're going to be talking lots. Okay, so here's the deal. The road to success will be longer and harder than you ever imagined. Write that one down. The road to success will be longer and harder. I don't want you caught off guard by this. It's going to take some time. Like, oh, you're a 5-year overnight success. No, I'm a 36-year overnight success. I leaned into it. I've struggled my whole life. It's okay that you struggle. That's life. And somehow you thought, I don't have to struggle. Nope. The biggest room in the world, the room for improvement. Give yourself the gift of change. It's time. Doing the same old things will give you the same old result. You must. I don't know if I can. You must. I don't know if I can. You absolutely have to. You don't have a choice, or you're going to be stuck in the same cycle. You evolve or you revolve. Write that one down. Write down right now. You evolve or you revolve. Tired of revolving? I am. Revolving sucks. So you got to do what? You got to evolve. How are you going to evolve? Well, you better start listening to podcasts. You better go to YouTubes. You better attend Zooms. Go to Levi's training. You just heard about Krista Mayshore. She's doing a free class for 7 hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. She makes $2 million a month. Not a year. She makes $24 million a year. She's going to go, here's how I'm doing it. You're not going to hold it back. You go, well, I don't know about this. Cross your arms, cross your snotty look on your face, cross your legs, your arms, your eyes. You cross your brain. You're not listening. Listen! Learn and grow. Wow, I'm so pumped. How do you get there? Total immersion. Podcast, books, YouTubes, events. You guys came here today. There's a lot of people listening online. These get seen 500 times, these team meetings around the country. And I'm speaking to the choir. I'm so proud of all of you for taking time to be here today. And you know what? Things are going to get better for you. But let me ask you a question. What do you really want? What is it you want? You want success? You want money in the bank? You want to be debt-free? You want to travel? You want happy, healthy relationships? You want a beautiful home? You want to go to Tahiti? You want to kite surf, golf with me? That's my thing, golfing. But what do you want to do? Snorkel? You want to scuba? What do you want to do? Those are all great things. Nothing wrong with any of them. But they're all signs of external success. What's important, how you get there, is the internal. Write that down. You want, I get it. You'd like a car that starts. You'd like a car, you have no idea what the gas mileage is. It doesn't matter. You live where you want to live, travel, do the things, bless people, bring people with you. Right? I think James and Jenny Stroop are bringing 60 people on an Alaskan cruise next month, paying for everybody, flying them out, just to be able to bless their family on both sides of the family, 60 of them. That's a pretty cool thing to do. We all want external success, but it starts with internal success. So what are you doing to build you? What are you doing to build you? Do you know to cut hair, it is 3,600 hours of study? It costs $26,000. Have you invested $26,000 in books, in events, in coaching? Have you spent 3,600 hours? We can't even get you to go to Krista Bayshore this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know if I have time for that. Really, you don't have time to learn from somebody who makes $2 million a month? I'm sure you learn from people who make $2 million a month all the time. I'm sure you do. And you got to take notes like your life depends on it. Let me let you in on a secret. Your life depends on it. You got to want change so bad you can taste it deep down. That you got to be desperate for change. There's desperate bad. You met people who are desperate. They're super needy. And then there's people who are desperate. Martin Luther King was desperate. Eleanor Roosevelt, Helen Keller, desperate. You know, Winston Churchill, desperate. I'm desperate. I'm proud of being desperate. I will always be desperate. You know, what am I going to do? Retire and play golf 5 days a week? Travel around the world? It may sound great. It doesn't even appeal to me. I like those things. But this is what appeals to me, making a difference. How many of you want to make a difference? Do you want to make a difference?
Yeah.
So how's it going? How much money have you invested in yourself? I'm talking about really developing yourself so you can love and care and lead others. That's what leadership is. You guys are all thinking business, and I'm thinking personal. Because you build the man, you build the woman, the business follows. It's like the tail on a kite. You got to build the kite first. You got to get it right up here first in you. You know, business is the easy part. Stop with the Band-Aid. We're all looking to put paint and carpet on the REO. You got to care about the plumbing, the electrical, the health of the home, your mind, your body, your soul. Henry Ford said this, if you think you can, you probably can. If you think you can't, you're probably right. Some of you even right now, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could be like Brent. Man, be like you. Be like you. You're amazing. You're incredible. We need to hear your story. We need to hear your story. You have a story to tell. You have a song to sing. Man, you have an amazing song. I want to know more about your life. Every one of you. But you sit there and go, no, I don't. I'm not you. You don't have to be me. I'm not trying to be anyone. I'm singing my song. I'm letting it rip. I don't care. I'm so focused on you, I'm forgetting about me. But when you go, how'd I sound? What'd I look like? Oh, I. Oh, darn. You're so focused on yourself. But when you take eyes off yourself and you focus on making a difference, you will win like you never dreamed you could win. So let me ask you a question. I want you to, Seneca said this, at first it's impossible, then it's difficult, then it is done. There are things like this could never happen, then all of a sudden it's done. Lean into resistance. Smile. Feel the wind in your face. Sometimes wipe the blood off your lips. Like a fighter. Is that all you got? Step up and go for more. Because guess what? You will change. Attitude is everything. Are you giving energy to politics? Vote. But are you so upset about Trump? Are you so upset about Biden? Are you so upset about the doggone vaccine? I'm a non-vaxxer. And I try to convince people not to get vaccinated and all that stuff. And some people are vaxxers. You should convince people to get vaccinated. You should follow your political beliefs. If you're liberal, you should get behind that. If you're conservative, get behind that. If you believe in God, do whatever you do. Get behind it. That's called personal integrity, right? So I'm not saying you should do those things. But when you bring so much energy to things you have no control over, okay? And so some of you bring so much energy to the problem. Let me ask you a question. What are you building? Are you building the love boat at home? Are you building a love boat at the office? When you entered this room today, did you walk in here with a smile on your face? Did you think about how you'd perform in this room? I'm going to take notes. I'm going to milk every little nectar out of this room. And when you entered the room, did you bring light with you? Did you lift the room? When you walk in, are cognizant? People are watching you. You know what Jen said to me? My wife doesn't normally go to a lot of real estate events. And what happened yesterday?
She sat up front the entire time, right next to me. We're right up front, and she took more notes than any of us at the table. I mean, she filled the back page, she filled her journal. I sent him a picture going, look at your cute wife taking all the notes. And she was there the entire time, focused,
And what did you
engaged.
say it meant to you, Darcy and Cindy?
Oh, it meant the world to us. All three of us have commented numerous. We talked about it yesterday and this morning already, how much it blessed us.
I guarantee you my wife has no idea. She has no idea. But we made a conscious decision last year and a half when we moved to Puerto Rico to do everything together. We've done a lot separate. She's been to Europe 9 times. I've never been. You know, she would go pray for people in Europe. She likes to pray. I would go play golf. I'm a sinful man. Forgive me. I'm like, you're going to go pray in Europe? I'm going golfing. I'm a mere mortal. I am. You know. Please be patient with me. God is not finished yet. Okay? There's more in the tank. There's so much more in my tank. There's so much more in your tank. But people are watching you. Do you lift rooms? Well, it's just me. I can't lift a room. There you are. The enemy's the enemy. Yes, you can lift the room. I look into all your faces. I'm looking into your eyes. It makes an impact. Some of you don't realize they call it the resting face. I won't really call you what they call it, the resting face. And so you got to be conscious about your face. Smile. Some of you, you're going after the listing. You're talking to your seller. You're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to list with that guy. You know, it's like, you know, go ahead and tell me no. Tell me no. When you smile. It's hard to tell people no, right? And it's infectious. They always say this, if you take a picture, everyone smile, and you find yourself smiling. You're taking the picture. But when people smile, you smile back. How about you be the one that smile? Be purposeful and intentional. I'm going to smile more. When I do YouTube, when I do video, I'm going to be conscious of my smile. I'm on the phone and you don't realize you're just yelling and screaming at people. You're like, no, I'm not. You're so thinking about your scripts. You need to put a big smiley face right in front of you. And you start talking, hey, how you doing today? See the difference when you smile, the way you talk to people? How are you today? My name's Brent Gove. I'm calling from EXP. I'd be interested in doing a CMA on your house. I'm sure you've seen interest rates have gone up. The market's peaking. And I'd really love an appointment. It's not what you say. Yes, you need a script, you need to know something, but it's how you say what you say. Does that make sense? So we're on the home stretch here. You ready? Yeah. Stop giving problems to your energy. Stop giving. How many would agree with that? If you think about your problems, what do you get? More problems. They get bigger and bigger and bigger. I realize you have problems. Please raise your hand if you don't have a problem. We will all whip your butt right now. I mean, seriously, does anyone here have no problems? I mean, we got one in the back, right? We all have some sort of problem. We all have problems. We all have struggles. We all have things we're dealing with from time to time, right? Stop giving energy to your problems. Focus on your solution. Give energy to the solution, okay? Yes, this sucks, but what can I do to change it? I can put the energy into that. I don't have money. I don't have bills. I got these bills. How am I going to pay my bills? My bills. I got this bad marriage. If my wife would just get her act together. If my husband would just, if he would. You ain't never going to change your husband. You're never going to change your wife, but you can change. You can change and grow. And then your husband will be inspired. Not mine, you don't know mine. Enemy is the enemy. I believe your husband would change. I believe your wife would change. Be a man, love her, but she doesn't have to do anything. You need to step up and be a king. And some of you need to step up and be a queen. Looking at all the different women. You need to be a lady, an amazing woman, a queen. Great character and stature and grace under pressure. That's what a queen is. She's the Queen of England. She's strong for her nation. You're leading the nation. I'm a king. I lead a nation. I have a group I lead. Are you with me? You are too. You're kings and queens. You just don't know it. You think you're just a pauper. I'm just a horse. It's a story of the 3 bricklayers. One, they ask, "What are you doing?" "I'm in bricks." Next one, "What are you doing?" "I'm building a church." Next thing, "What are you doing?" "I'm building the kingdom of God, man." One had a job, one had a career, one had a calling. What is your calling? Are you in your calling? They go, "Hey man, it's just real estate. You're a little crazy on it. It's just real estate, dude." Are you called to love and serve people, to help people? 5 major stresses in people's lives: death, divorce, having a child. There's a
Moving location.
Well, I was saving that for last. I'm missing the 4th one. At least I didn't leave the 1 finger up. But anyways, there's 5 major stresses.
Death, divorce, and marriage.
Your 4th.
Getting married, getting married, death, divorce,
Disease.
having a child, and moving, relocating. When people move their home, it's the biggest stress of their life, and you're touching their money. Some people, their money is their God, and you will find that out when things get wonky in the transaction. So just as we wrap this up, I just want to say this: are you a victim or a victor? Are you going to stand up or stand down? Are you going to stand tall or just stay small? What's it going to be? You got to make a decision to step up, to bootstrap it, and realize that self-loathing never served the world. You hating yourself for what you're not doing does not serve humanity. We need to save orphans. We need to save widows. My wife and I are we're taking our extra money and saving orphans and saving widows and helping pregnant moms who are in a horrific situation. We're building homes, we're remodeling homes, we're doing things because we're stepping up. And that's what you're called to do. I believe in the Lord and the Bible, and it says take care of widows and orphans. No one else is looking out for them. Well, there's so many, I can't even. Human trafficking. Oh my gosh, look at the numbers. You know what? It makes a difference to this one 12-year-old little girl that you rescued. All it takes for evil to prevail in this world is good men and good women to do nothing. Steve Hillier and Gary Meek in the back are doing a golf tournament next month. It's for precious lives. You know what that is? It's little children that are in human trafficking. Here's a 5-year-old, here's an 8-year-old. I mean, we don't want to talk about it. This stuff goes on. There's some sick people out there. And they raise money. How much money have you guys raised for Precious Lives to save children? How much money?
$100,000.
How much?
Over $100,000 a year.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you think that's a drop in the bucket? That $100,000 has literally saved the lives of 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 13-year-olds who are in very bad. If that was you, please somebody come for me and something like it's just too big of a problem. I'm not going to deal with it. Anyways, I can't end on that note. I feel depressed too. But, so we're gonna. I have more stuff, but here's the deal. I want to challenge you to reinvent yourself. I want to challenge you to respond well. I want to challenge you to pivot, to reinvent yourself, to implement the principle of vacuum. What is the principle of vacuum? Get rid of what you don't want, alcohol and drugs and friends who tear you down, and replace it with what you do want, health and life and love and friends who lift you up. Make a decision. Who is my inner circle? Those 2, 3, 4 people. Who are they, and should they be there? And who do you want to be around in the future? And just start going to stuff. Get around them. I started going to John Maxwell stuff. I ended up speaking on a stage with him. I started going to Grant Cardone stuff. He ended up speaking on my stage. I started going to all the Tony Robbins stuff, and I paid him to speak on my stage. It was still cool.
It's still pretty awesome.
You can get access. So set higher standards. You get what you tolerate. And I'm just honored and privileged to do this with you guys here in Roseville. Those of you listening online, we are a group of earth shakers, of history makers. Man, you were designed to make history, not be a dash. Born 1978, died 2037. That's the dash. What did you do during your life? How will you be remembered 3, 4, 500 years from now? You have the ability to touch lives. Go and do it. I love you guys. Have a great day. Oh, one thing, put it up, one thing we forgot, I did forget. This is June 2nd, 10 to noon. Everyone show up with 3 guests, bring 3 guests. Come and learn yourself. He sold his first home 3 years ago in Santa Cruz. This year he'll do $250 million. From 0 to 250 million in sales in 3 years. No one's ever done that. And his name is Jeremy Larson's our speaker at the Placer County Board of Realtors, June 2nd. I believe that's a Thursday. From 10 to noon. It is free. I like that word. And Jeremy Larson is going to teach that for 2 hours. Bring 3 people. Oh, everybody's going to come to know you. So you have to come. Come learn this and go back to RE/MAX. Come learn this, go back to Realty One. Come learn this, go back to Lions. You have to come. This guy's going to rock your world. I don't want a $100 million sales team. It's going to teach you how to get listings. That's part of having a team. Do you want listings? Well, I want listings. Go! You need it. People don't show up because you're boring. Have some passion and some conviction when you talk to people. I can get people there because I have conviction. People respond to conviction. You get listings through conviction. If you're losing listings and losing buyers, you're boring. Have conviction. All right, I'm done.
All right. On that note, have a great week, everybody.